coverage of the Cinegear Expo 2017 is brought to you in partnership with Blackmagic Design, who are busting chops to keep your production flowing. Okay, I think we need to have a discussion about the Canon C200. Unveiled yesterday at Cinegear. God damn it. I don't know what to think. Well, at first I was kind of excited, then I was annoyed, then I was upset at the arrogance. I mean, Canon releasing a new camera, that's always welcome. They've released some great cameras over time. They started out with the 5D, you know this. Then the 5D Mark II, Mark III, C100, C300, C500s and all the rest of them. All of which, in varying different ways, were really good. But Canon have dropped the ball of late. The 4K support has been too expensive and, quite frankly, not good enough. The Canon C200 Mark II records 4K at 30 frames a second. That's not good enough for the money, Canon. And Canon, you know this. So, enter the Canon C200. Where are we with this? Well, the Canon C200, as far as I can tell, is partly designed by the creatives at Canon and partly by the finance guys at Canon. As far as I can tell, there's a lot that's been compromised here. Canon could have done a lot more. Indeed, other companies have done a lot more. Panasonic have released the EVA-1, which will come in about the same price, maybe even cheaper than the Canon C200, and it offers more at every step of the way. You're going to tell me Canon RAW Light? Nah, don't give me that. It's a compressed codec. It's proprietary, it's still compressed. It won't give you much more than a good codec would. It certainly won't give you as much as a good ProRes codec, I'm sure of that. What were Canon thinking? Well, let's have a look at the camera to start with. We met up with this guy to tell us what's going on with it.
Alright, so this our newest entry in Cinema EOS, and you know, kind of really the whole philosophy behind this camera was to put in a new, maybe more accessible camera, but it has a really powerful workflow. Kind of sitting in between that C100 and that C300 level. So it's really exciting. It's kind of something really unique, actually. It's much more of a, it's much more of a cube. So just kind of things that make a little bit more sense. There's a lot more mounting points on it than you had on a C100, absolutely. You have XLRs that are built directly into the camera, where in all of our previous cameras, except for the C700, they were built onto either the LCD screen or the handles of the C100. So now the XLRs are built right in, so you don't need to have a handle on it to get your audio. So the RAW Lite is our new Canon RAW formula, right? And basically allows us to record Canon RAW onto the CFast card. And you can do it in 24, 30, and 60p. Now what's really interesting about that too is that when you're shooting in the 24 and the 30p, you are actually getting 12-bit 4K. When you go to 60, then it becomes 10-bit. So you're getting a really, really high, a bit depth that's really, really great for posts in the RAW. Right now, DaVinci and Avid can do the RAW natively within their systems, but we have our own RAW developer. So to make an analogy, much like Red has their Red Cine X, we have we have our own RAW developer in Canon that you can take it and then you can convert it to any format you need, to ProRes, to DPX, to OpenEXR if you need linear. So right now we're looking at very early August. Will be in people's hands.
Have a look at the Canon C200, and I've got to be honest, I remain unimpressed. If you were brand new to cameras, you didn't own anything else, and you hadn't been doing anything for the last few years with cameras, then maybe, and I say this maybe, that might be the camera for you. And right up until I've been speaking to a whole bunch of other creators, I was going to set this camera on fire. It was terrible. There isn't a redeeming feature with the Canon C200. Alas, having spoken to a few other creators that are around at Cinegear here, I found that there are a few, and one guy in particular who stands out. And I'm terribly sorry if you're watching, because don't recall your name, but you have a C100 Mark 1 and a Canon XC10. The XC200, the C200 is, in that very nichey way, a nice upgrade. However, I'm shooting this on a GH5. That is an Ursa Mini Pro. Out there are FS5s, FS7s, Red Ravens, and now the Panasonic EVA1. I don't think there is a place for the Canon C200. And please do tell me if you think I'm wrong. I believe that it is overpriced. I think it's not offering enough. And not only that, the hardware is capable of more. But in an effort to not upset Canon C300 Mark II owners, well, they've upset them by giving away 4K 60p, but the Canon Light codec has been born. In terms, if you put it just against the Ursa Mini Pro, I think the Ursa Mini Pro, aside from weight, stacks up better in almost every way. Sure, the Canon has a nice look and is established, and they've been making cameras for a long time. But I don't think that cuts it. This camera, for me, is a better camera. The new Panasonic EVA camera is a better camera. I'm struggling to find where the C200 sits. I won't keep ranting all day about it, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, because for me, sorry Canon, the C200 is too little, too late. If you like any of what you see here, please do subscribe and tell your friends about it. I'm a bit short on subscribers, but there'll be more coming, and there's been a bit of a drought the last week, but we'll be back to normal service shortly. And we're coming to the end of Cinegear here at 2017. Our next stop for shows will be IBC, I think. We'll see. In the interim, please subscribe, like, share, wave your hands in the air, and that'll do for now. Bye.